Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox. That's Ben Olson. Together we're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have a question here. This is from, I think actually editor Alex put this on our agenda. It says, a common theme I have seen while lurking in the dark areas of Reddit. Quote, should I go to law school in state A if I want to practice in state Z? What do you think?
Yeah, in general, no. If you know where you want to practice, I think most people don't know where they want to practice. But if you know that you want to practice in some state, for the vast majority of applicants, well, that's where you should be going to law school. If you're looking at the top 10, 15, whatever schools, then yeah, they have national reach. So you have more flexibility. So you could go to some other state and maybe you should go to the best offer. But for most places, you've got to go where you're going to practice, especially
in many states. You like have to sort of. I mean, I'm under the impression that if you want to practice in the state of Louisiana, you can only go to law school in the state of Louisiana. Like you will not be employable in the state of Louisiana if you didn't go to law school in the state of Louisiana, having something to do with their weird legal system in that state.
They have the statute system, right? That's different.
It's like some weird, it's probably relic of, French colonial whatever, but it's so you need to talk to lawyers in your state and you need to ask them this question. Now, if you're from North Dakota and there aren't any good law schools in North Dakota, presumably, you could certainly go to a very reputable school in some other state, and I'm sure you'd be fine to come back to North Dakota and practice.
Who wants to practice in North Dakota?
Well, yeah, I mean, why would you ever want to even?
There's probably a reason there's no law
I don't know,
there.
but yeah, but yeah, I would say that in the majority of cases, you probably should go to law school in the state where you want to practice law. I can't imagine really. Yeah, there's not that many reasons other than T14 issues, right? Like if you're like, no, I want to practice in New York, but I got admitted to Stanford. Okay, like that'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Yep.
Yeah. Also, you might go to Stanford and realize, actually, I want to just go ahead and be a baller in Palo Alto. Yeah, like I don't need to. Maybe I won't go back to New York, or the other way around too, right? Like you live in, Bakersfield, and you think you want to live in Bakersfield, but you get into Columbia or NYU or whatever, and there could be a pretty good reason to go across the country to one of those schools, and it will certainly equip you to practice law in Bakersfield if you go to one of those T14 schools. You also might realize that New York City is the shit and just decide to stay there. But, taking people at their word, if they really are sure that they want to practice in a certain state, they should probably be targeting mostly law schools within that state.
Yeah. I mean, it actually gets pretty simple. Unless you're looking at the top, we say 14, but we're just kind of buying into that stupid number. You're looking at the top 15 or so schools. Unless you're looking at those schools, you're looking at a local regional law school. I don't care if it's 25 or whatever. It's a local regional law school, which means it serves its community. That's where you're going to probably be practicing.
And those schools do a great job of creating actual lawyers in their community.
Yep.
So, and I think you'll learn that if you go talk to lawyers who practice the type of law you want to practice in a place where you want to practice. I think that they'll probably tell you like, LA. Oh yeah. I went to Loyola or I went to Southwestern and it totally is great.
Yep.
And you can get a scholarship probably.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with those regional schools. One thing I would not do for sure is I wouldn't go across the country to go to a school like Hastings. Right. Hastings has these pretensions of being a national law school. Yeah. When in fact their rank is, 50th or whatever it is in the country. And if you know for sure you want to practice in New York or Florida or whatever, I think you'd be a fool to go all the way across the country to a school that, it's slightly higher ranked, but nobody's ever heard of it in New York. So why would you do that?
Yeah.
All right. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.